Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with my beautiful friend Beck, and this is the first of what will hopefully be a series of, I don't know what it's going to be called, some kind of motherhood chat, just talking to other moms, asking about experience, advice, just having an open and honest conversation about some of the most beautiful things, but also some of the hard things about motherhood, which maybe some people might not be comfortable sharing with friends, but it's so important to talk about the highs and the lows and to know that we all are in this together and we're all feeling it together. So yeah, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited. I can't wait. Raya has the best questions. She's such an amazing mom and has already supported me so much on my journey. So like you said, I just want to add, find other moms, whether it's through play groups or you had like the birthing class that became your crew. And yeah, I think moms are incredible. Women are incredible.
Yes.
Moms are amazing.
Okay, well let's start with, did you always know you wanted to be a mom?
Oh, good question. I grew up with a younger sister who was very maternal. We'd go home for lunch at school and she'd be the one making lunch, and she was gonna be a mom for sure. Yeah. And I think it maybe made me question a little bit how maternal I am.
Okay.
But I know
so
I'm maternal.
Comparing to her.
Yeah, probably.
Classic.
Subconsciously,
Yes.
but yeah. And then what I really loved is Eamon and I had been together for a long time, and then we consciously asked each other, what does it look like to have children? Do we want children? We had met some friends who didn't want kids, and we were like, whoa. It was almost like I always knew I wanted them, but I wanted to make sure it wasn't society's expectations driving the decision, and that I was like really listening to my heart. But the answer is yes. We just took our time making sure that that was the answer. So yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
And then do you want to tell us about when you found out you were pregnant and how you felt?
Oh my gosh. Oh, so my finding out I was pregnant was kind of wrapped up in another scary time because I had just been through breast cancer treatment. And at the time I had a mammogram that showed they were worried. And so I was going for a biopsy.
Okay.
So it was between the call about the mammogram and the biopsy date, I found out I was pregnant. So Eamon was, oh my gosh, like screaming, dancing, whatever. And I think I was just so shocked because we had tried for months before and purposely didn't try that month. But like, what? I don't.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so many people know the moment they conceived and we like did not. So we were shocked.
I love in the video, you're like, I don't think it's possible.
Yes.
Like, how is this possible?
Yes, I called my sister and she's like, well, you must have had sex. I'm like, no, I don't think we did. Like, I'm so confused. So there was a lot of shock. And then it was mixed up in some worry and anxiety around everything that was going on. I just really wanted to have a happy, healthy baby. And yeah, it was a intense time in our lives for sure. But overall, so excited, of course. How about you?
Finding out, we had kind of just started. It was like month 2 or 3 of trying, but I didn't want to try because like you, I've struggled with perfectionism in the past. So I think if I'd started like with the ovulation strip, all the things, I would have just way overstressed myself. So I was like, I just want to try for a few months, like chill vibes, and then we'll see what happens. So that's totally a huge reason of why I did get pregnant, I think, because I didn't have all those stress hormones. But we were doing van life in the UK. We were doing like just the beginning of this long 1 or 2 month long trip. And I like went to this bathroom in the campsite and I peed in this like soup, empty soup thing, just to pee. Yeah. And then I dipped the thing and then we like looked at the stick together.
Oh, nice.
But I was feeling like I might be, just like my boobs were really sore, which is hard because it's like all the same symptoms as period.
I know.
But still, I was like, I feel like I might be. But Louis was like, I mean, it was just, we just weren't really trying. So I think he was like, oh, probably not. So I think we were both shocked, but his shock in that video is like, he was really shocked. Because obviously he didn't feel any signs. So,
yes.
But yeah, it's like excitement mixed with, for me, it was like this, I think I remember, but right before we flipped it, and I said it in the video too, I was like, once we look, that's it. Like if it's a yes, our lives are changed forever.
Yeah.
And while that was exciting, I think part of me, like our lives were so great that I think I was a bit worried about what that really would look like and how it would look. But yeah. That was my story.
It's crazy.
We filmed a little segment for your vlog, and I asked this question, but I'd love to ask it because, like we said, there's so many things we could say. So we could say something else for this one, but check out that vlog for the first part. What is something you're actively working on healing in yourself that you hope not to pass on to your children?
I think it's sort of the same answer in a way, but this idea that you always have to be doing, it goes back to like, I am enough, like that root belief that I'm not enough if I'm not doing this, or, you know, I just really have tuned in this last year of like, I am enough, period. Like, because I am, because I exist. Like all of these things always felt like, oh, cute saying, but now I'm feeling it. Like I don't deserve this because I've gone and done that, and that. I just deserve it because I am, and I'm worthy of it, worthiness. Yeah. So yeah, I want her to understand that creativity and play for play's sake, like you don't have to grow out of those things as an adult.
You also don't have to earn them.
Yeah.
Like, well, once I've done the important thing, then I get to play and have fun.
That's a big one, actually. Because even rest for me was always equated to like when you're sick. Oh, you have a cold, you're run down, now you rest. Okay. Oh, we tuck you in on the couch and you rest now. Right. So it's almost like just bake in the rest, bake it all in, and that is life, you know? Like I'm super drawn to people who, like my masseuse, who's just like, I just got back from a trip and I think I can massage one person a day. I'm like, like protect your energy, you know? And yeah. I don't think that was a very succinct answer, but there's a lot I'm healing, and I really hope that, and I know actually that Frankie's gonna grow up with like a really great example of wholeness.
I've also found, because we have struggled in the past with very similar things, and I found becoming a mom, like you love your child no matter what they do or don't do, like so intensely, and that's the kind of thing that I think that's really taught me, truly, you don't need to earn love or respect or anything. Like you are whole and you are perfect just the way you are. I think it's hard for me to visualize for myself, but when I look at Neo, I'm like, obviously I couldn't love him. It doesn't matter if he like did something or learned a new skill. It doesn't make me love him more. That doesn't change anything about how much I love him. You could just sit there and I love him just as much. So it's like, obviously it's the same for us.
It's very much the same for you.
Yeah. But I think becoming a mom has like shown me what that can look like. Yes. And then I can use that example to turn on myself.
Yes, that's beautiful.
You are an amazing mom. Can you give me an example that shows what an amazing mom you are?
Aww. Wow, that's so beautiful. Aww. What a beautiful question. I love it. Oh goodness. I feel so proud of how present I am with Frankie. Like I know I'm still working, and so I do things on my phone, but I really try and just really am there with her in those moments. So like even this afternoon, she was sat with me looking at me, and her eyes were just so locked on mine and mine on hers. And maybe it's more like what fills me up as a mom is just being that present with her and like feeling that kind of connection. I just think presence is our gift to everyone. Yeah. And I feel really, really present with her. Really, really present. And I hope to continue, and I will continue that for her whole life. And she'll always hopefully know that I'm like that safe space of presence, you know? She can come to me and I'm not thinking about anything else or doing anything else. I can just be there with her, you know?
Yeah, I think that's something as we have more kids that we need to actively be working on. I love people that will do like, they'll take their like oldest kid on a date, just them, like a coffee date, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I love that.
So important.
Yes. Like, what has been the hardest part of motherhood for you so far?
I'm like really open about it, but I didn't have a journey with breastfeeding. And so for me, that connection piece, like I know the breastfeeding and like the nutrition is obviously very, very important, but the connection, and I had that with like a lot of skin on skin. Like we spent all day, every day, basically just naked together. But navigating the guilt and the shame and like the unworthiness that like maybe I'm not enough for her because I couldn't do that has honestly been the most difficult. Like harder than not sleeping, harder than whatever. It's like, I just feel like it's this, yeah, it's been the hardest for me for sure.
Do you feel like you are forgiving and giving yourself grace for it? Like, is that wound in you healing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
It's just like wild because I know that I'm not the only mom on planet Earth who can't breastfeed. Like, I know that this is more common than not.
Yeah.
But you know, you always get what you need in life. And I know that I'm like, this is all a gift and all a teaching and it's all happening for me.
And same for her.
Exactly. And I know she chose me.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Totally.
And of course, I'm amazing. I would, you know, and I get why she chose me. So it's just, yes, I am definitely healing the wound. Like 1,000,000%. It was so hard for me in the beginning. And now we're in a much better place. And she's so happy and healthy. And there's no even stomach issues anymore. So I'm like in a much healthier place with all of it. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for asking. Yeah.
And what has been the best part of motherhood for you so far?
Oh my God. All of it.
Yeah.
Her. She's here to teach me. I know I'm learning every day from her. Presence and like she'll pick up a piece of grass and look at it for 20 minutes. And I'm just like, yes, kid, this is life, you know?
Yeah.
Or what I love is her excitement when she gets up. Like you were asking, like, does she want to cuddle? And I'm like, no. She's like, another day? And that's all like I want for myself every day, right? Especially with what I'm moving through is like all any of us have is today.
Yeah.
And when I get her from the crib, even after a nap, she is kicking her feet, the biggest smile. She's like, let's go. And that is like, what a gift. Oh my gosh, what a gift. And I just love learning from her. I love it. She is so cool.
What is a quality you hope your child gets from you?
I hope she gets my healthy empathy. And I say that because I think I used to use the word empathy as like a reason why I carried everyone's baggage, which isn't healthy.
Yeah.
But the way I really see people and I think hold space for people and feel into them, like I really understand, I think. I mean, everyone is an individual, but I really think that's a strength I have of like being able to sit with someone and like feel with them. And I think that's a really special quality. And I'd love for her to have that. And I think she does.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like that's a quality that maybe many people are born with, but it can be like a weakness or it can hurt you. So I can see a lot of people kind of shutting off that side of them, but for her to be raised by you and to be shown and reminded of the beauty and strength of that, hopefully it can just like flourish more and more.
I think exactly what you said is so true. We're all born reading energy and feeling into one another and feeling like one.
Yeah.
Right? And it's over time that you stop just being so whole.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, when you're living out of fear, then you're like protecting yourself from everyone else. So you just like close yourself in. And feeling other people's energy can be a lot as well. It's easier to not feel it and to just focus on yourself. But the whole humans are supposed to live in community, and so we're supposed to be connected. So it just, it makes sense that it is a natural part of us. I love this.
I know, it's so fun.
It really is. What has becoming a mom taught you about yourself?
This has been the most transformative year of my life. I think it's just showed me how hard I am on myself and how to, sort of what you were saying, like truly a parent, how I look at her is how someone looks at me, you know, and even just like the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. There's no way a universal parent or being would be like, oh, you didn't do that, so you're not coming home to pure love or whatever. You're going. It's just pure love, right? And so, what was the question? We're talking about God now. I don't know.
Becoming a mom wants to tell you about yourself.
Oh yeah, just this like this pure love for myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Because when you have it for another being and your child, you're like, oh my gosh, of course, we're all just pure love.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. And that's also a work in progress. But I really feel closer to it than ever before in my life, just in a place of so much love for myself.
Some moms say that when their child is born, a new version of them is born as well. Do you feel this way? And if so, how is this new version of you different?
I feel like I should just say that I was diagnosed with cancer when I gave birth to Frankie. So within 1 week that all happened. So 1,000,000%. It's so sometimes hard for me to separate the change and what's happened and everything, but I literally look at me almost a year ago with so much love. Like I want to wrap her and I'm so proud of her. Like, like Eamon and I were in the hospital for the week leading up to her birth and still like laughed and still had fun. And it's like, wow, I'm just so proud of her. And yet I'm so different. I just don't look at life as though I'm a victim of my life or the external circumstances anymore. So, a year ago it was like, oh, I can't, like I'm so unlucky that this has happened to me. A lot of fear, really in survival. Just pure survival. And I hear parents all the time like, oh, first year is just you're living in survival. What a gift for me, because I have not been in survival. Like I have actively worked every day of my life to not be in survival. So now I'm like the opposite. I feel very much like I operate from a place of love for myself, and a knowingness that it's happening for me as opposed to me.
There's something you want to do for you. It could be like a fun thing, taking a class, learning a new skill. Like what is something you want to make more time for?
Yeah. So my sister-in-law and I have passes to like a paint night and we're doing ceramics. So both of them are like two creative things for creative sake, which I keep talking about, but I just really believe that's what like our soul craves.
Yes.
And like ceramics, like I'm obsessed with cool mugs and like I just couldn't dream of something I'd love more. I've never tried it, so maybe I won't like it, but just to do something new. I think like as we age, we stop trying new things, but also like when you're a mom, it's just like, oh, there's no way there's time for that.
I personally felt so pulled to creative things as well, like crafts and painting. And I feel for me, since becoming a mom, I've just like fully switched to my feminine side when I was operating a lot more from my masculine side before, of like the to-do list and feel like I have to like accomplish all this stuff. So I don't know if I would love to hear from other moms if they feel this way, but for me, I feel like that swap to like my feminine is what's made me more like wanting more of that, like making things out with my hands and being creative and not actually caring about whether I'm good at something.
Oh yeah.
Just like doing
like
it.
our dance party last night.
Yeah.
We did a dance workout last night and I was like, wow, old me would have been like, I'm not getting these moves. Like I can't get the choreo. And last time I was just like, it's amazing.
We did something with our roommates that you guys should do. Have you seen people like paint their partners?
No.
Maybe you haven't because it's an Instagram thing.
Okay.
But people will like, you do like a half an hour timer or something. You just have like a little easel and so you can't see what the other person's painting and you're like painting a portrait of each other.
Aww.
And then you show it at the end. And a lot of the really funny ones that are going viral are like, one of them's really good and the other one's like really comically bad.
Right.
But setting a timer was so good because we did it, Louie and I, and then our roommates, and we did it together.
Cool.
And having a timer means like you can't actually make it that good. You know, like
for us perfectionists,
exactly.
that's so good.
No, it's not like, oh, you can keep going and then people go to bed and you're like, no, I'm gonna make sure it's you finish at half an hour or you can do less if you want. But that was really, really fun. And then what we did, after we did the portraits, we were just like loving paintings. Like, let's just paint random stuff. And what we found was the chats we had, we always have deep chats, but they got so much deeper because we weren't like looking at each other's eyes. There was something easier where you're just like doing something, you're like, yeah, so my biggest fear. And honestly, it was like, it was amazing. So I would highly recommend.
Because I keep saying the creative center of us is our heart.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you're actually just expressing creatively like this, like your heart's wide open.
Totally.
So of course you can ask me my biggest fear because my heart's wide open.
Yeah. Okay, for this one, you need to close your eyes.
Okay. My water now.
Okay. Think about the love you have for your child. Feel it fully in your heart. Now, imagine that you are your own mother and the love you have for your child you have for yourself. What would you say to yourself? And what would you stop telling yourself?
Just how divinely perfect I am, just as I am. Full stop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. What is one piece of advice you'd give someone who's about to become a mother, and what's something you wish you knew? So that could be the same thing.
The thing is like, I really think we all have such individual journeys. So advice is almost, my advice would be, don't take in too much advice. Because, you know, what I struggled with as a mom has been so different to like the people who are so close to me. Yes, we have like similar insecurities about it and whatever, but it's like, my baby is doing this and yours isn't gaining weight and yours isn't so it's just like, you just can't even predict it. And I think finding like the support groups, like your inner group of people who you can talk to. And something that I loved that I've done with like some of my friends is like, hey, how can I communicate with you after like 6 weeks or something if you want, like about postpartum anxiety, depression, these things that are so sensitive and in the moment are so hard to talk about, or, you know, so like with a couple of my friends, it was just like, this is how I want you to approach me. And, you know, just like to have those people that you really trust and love and who know you, because it's such a dramatic change in your life, in your chemistry, in your hormones, and you need support. You just need support, however it looks.
That's something I tell everyone I know who is pregnant. For me, I guess, again, maybe it was harder for you to tell what was happening because of what, but the first 10 days specifically was like the craziest emotions roller coaster ever. I felt like I'd been dropped in the middle of the ocean and it was going to take me 18 years to get to shore. It was just like overwhelming. What am I doing? How am I going to figure this out? Like, I'd never spent time around a baby. But yeah, just to know that I think I read that like the hormonal shifts that happen in the 2 weeks post-birth, it's like all your hormonal shifts that happen through puberty, but it's squished into 2 weeks. It's crazy. And that's, again, not something people really talk about. They talk about the sleep deprivation, but if you're like crying in the shower and you don't even know why.
Big time.
And then you feel like,
cry.
And then you're like, what is even happening to me?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's a huge part, just to expect it and to know it's normal and to not be ashamed of it and talk to someone, or just give yourself the grace. Like a big thing for me was like, oh, this is just my hormones going wild and it's not actually how I feel. And then like a week later, I didn't feel that way anymore. So yeah, that's a huge advice I would say.
I love that. And you actually were an amazing friend and messaged me that when I was postpartum. I remember you were like, those 10 days. When you hear it from another mom, you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. You know, like, and I was able to do it for friends who have had babies since. I'm like, you're in it, you know, and just
and everything's normal.
Yes, it's all normal.
Exactly.
Yeah, because none of it's normal. It's all crazy. So crazy. So crazy.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Raya. Thank you for being such a great friend and just for being who you are. You're so enough.
So I'm just so grateful that we're doing motherhood together and to watch our kids grow up. And beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know if anything stuck out to you. If you want to continue the conversation in the comments, chat to each other, I'll be there too. And see you in the next one.
Oh, that was so beautiful. Thanks for watching, guys. Girls, ladies. Why do we say guys?
I know.
Thank you for filming. think we're telepathic.
Yeah.
I was just having that conversation. I was saying back to you, I'm so grateful